How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and today I have what I think is a pretty interesting video. So it occurred to me a little while ago that I have a lot of films. Shocker, I know. I just woke up one day and realized it, honestly. All seriousness aside, in the last 2 months or so since I posted my movie collection video, I have actually gained a whole lot more since then, including a few that I'm going to show off today. So I was going through my collection and it occurred to me that there are a lot of really old films in my collection. And I rarely see anyone talk about this kind of thing in other YouTube videos when people show off their collections and when people talk about films. Usually when people talk about films, they think about recent films, you know, the newest ones, the Academy Award nominees. If you go too far back, you get to mostly people talking about stuff from the Star Wars era, or maybe the 30s, rarely any further back than that. But films have been around now for over 100 years. The very first motion picture ever was made in 1888, if you can believe it. So I decided today to take the time to make this video going over an assortment of really old films that I happen to own. And I would love to hear all of you tell me in the comments what the oldest movies are that you own. So let me go ahead and start with what is the oldest film that I have owned the longest? What's the film that I have personally had in my possession the longest? That's a big question because you could show off the, this shelf right here I have shown off before. These are all recorded tapes of films that were recorded off of TV. Most of these predate my birth, and they have been in my possession since my father passed it on to me when he died, and they're older than I am. So he had them before I was born. Does that count? And if you were to discount those, then how about we get into some retail stuff? Like, I have plenty of VHS tapes that he owned before I was born. How do I count those? I don't know what is the oldest and what isn't. And if you were to refine it a little bit and go with just the copies of films that I personally have bought the farthest in time ago, I don't know. The oldest film that I know for sure that I bought with my own money is this copy of Apollo 13, which I bought when I was 12, which would have been in the year 2003. But I am almost certain that I bought other films before this. I just don't know what they were. So what's the film that I have had that I have personally owned the longest? I wish I could tell you. So with that out of the way, let's go to some actuals here. So let's start with the oldest Best Picture winner that I have in my collection, and that is Gone with the Wind. This is a very big 2-cassette collector's edition of the film. This film released in 1939, and this is currently my only copy of the film. I never saw the film ever in my life until just last year when I watched this VHS tape of it. The 4K is coming out later this year. It'll be a day one purchase for me. This is a film that I'm shocked hasn't come to 4K before now. So yeah, the oldest Best Picture winner from 1939. Even so, I believe that this was the Best Picture winner of the 12th Academy Awards, 12 years after the Oscars began. So there's a lot of films that came out before then. The oldest color film that I have in my collection is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which I have on many formats. This is the Disney 100 4K Steelbook. And yeah, this is the oldest film that I own that was released in color. There were a lot of color films from before this, but the majority of films were in black and white. Color was a lot more expensive to make. A lot of projectors couldn't properly show it in theaters, so a lot of filmmakers didn't even bother even if they did have the money to make it happen. But yeah, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs released in 1937, 2 years before Gone with the Wind. So what is the oldest home video that I own? What of all of my releases was released the earliest? Well, that would be this CED of Dumbo. This disc was released in the year 1982. The film was released in 1941, so this was 41 years after Dumbo released, but 1982 was 44 years ago. So this disc that I'm holding is closer in age to the film than to the present day. And an honorable mention goes to Star Trek The Motion Picture on Laserdisc, because I do not have a CED player, so I can't actually watch this. This is the oldest release that I actually have the ability to watch. In fact, I watched this just a month ago, and Laserdiscs still hold up really, really well. This was released in 1983, 1 year newer than Dumbo on CED. Now let's get to the real old stuff here. These are films that released in the 1920s. The oldest film that I own that is a sound film is the oldest sound film ever. The very first film with sound, The Jazz Singer. And this special Digipack edition of the film includes tons of bonus features, I think 6 hours worth of bonus features if I'm right. And a lot of these are short films that are sound films that predate the main feature. The farthest back that I know for sure is A Plantation Act from 1926. The Jazz Singer itself released in 1927. With a caveat, this is not an all-talkie film. The characters don't speak from beginning to end. There's only a select number of scenes, I think 2 minutes total of a 90-minute film where they talk. Most of the sounds you hear in the film are the music and the singers actually singing. But there are 2 minutes of characters actually talking. Appropriately enough, the very first spoken words in a motion picture, wait a minute, you ain't heard nothing yet. I think that that is a perfect way to introduce talking to film. And now here we go. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the oldest film that I own. There are not many films that are older than this at all. All the way back from the year 1920, I have the Kino Lorber 4K release of The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. This is widely considered one of the first horror films, if not the first horror film of all time. From 1920. That is crazy. There are not many full-length films that are older than this. Not many that I could think that I would ever want to own anyway. Also, fun fact, this film is currently the oldest film released on the 4K format on top of that. So that's pretty cool that that I own the oldest film currently on 4K. And this film holds up really well, actually. It's a German expressionist film. Of course it's a silent film, but the pictures are evocative. I put the reversible art on the actual disc of Caesar here. I guarantee most of you have seen this image, even if you haven't seen the film. It is that well known. Crazy to me that this film, released in 1920, 106 years ago. The Jazz Singer turns 100 next year. Now, there are older films that I would like. The big one that comes to mind is A Trip to the Moon by Georges Méliès. I would love to own that. It's not a full-length film, it's like 20-30 minutes, but I would love to get it someday. In terms of full-length films from before Dr. Caligari, not much comes to mind. I guess we'll have to see if I add any more to my collection in the future. I'm sure that there will be many, many more releases in the future that I'll add to my collection. I'll get older Best Picture winners. I'll get older color films. I'll get earlier released VHS tapes and Laserdiscs. I know I will. But right now, these are the oldest films that I have in my collection, and I thought that it would be fun to share it with all of you. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Again, please leave a comment letting me know what the oldest films are that you own or would like to own. I really want to see the discussion happen in the comments. Well, that brings this video to an end. Now it's time for me to go back to trying to see if I can't find more space in my collection for more movies in the future. That's a me problem, though. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.